Well, it's August 2019 and we're here for a quick catch-up with the Mayflower charity Bonfire and Pyrotechnics. It's really all going to kick off next year, Saturday 29th August 2020. It's going to be monumental. The ship behind me is in the final year of its development. It's been a long haul, but they're really starting to get there. We've been on board. We're going to go and have a quick catch-up with Steve Blake, who's the man who's heading up this team at the moment and getting this ready for that incredible day when they're going to have the most enormous charity bonfire with full-on pyrotechnics. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. But let's just see where they've got up to so far. So, Steve Blake, catch us up a little bit. First of all, talk us through what's been happening over the last year.
Well, the last year, there was a group of guys, the builders. They've been busy every weekend now, weather depending, of course, and building this spectacular structure. Behind the scenes is myself and a few others are doing all the logistical bits. You know, in the early days before we actually started building, we actually had to get planning permission for it because of the size of the structure and the length of time that it's standing as a temporary structure.
It's absolutely massive. I just can't believe it. We've come to have a look at it today. We've seen the maps, we've had a good look at the drawings and everything. And as you say, you had to get planning because it's going to be there for so long. But the drawings, they're just it's so intricate. I mean, this is not just a facade, is it?
Oh no, it's not a facade. Yeah. It's there's not much space inside it. The boat is actually full of fuel, but the decks are decked out, and there's an area in there where the pilgrims would have been. And the reason for that is, if anybody should send, we're so proud of what we build. If someone should send a drone up to take a photograph, it had to look right from whatever angle they looked at.
Well, it's, I mean, we went to, it's very, very high, I can say that as well. Not brilliant on heights and certainly not good on ladders. It is phenomenally high, but when you look on top and you actually, because of the nature of the build, you have done it, it's so authentic, really. You know, you sort of look at it and you can see the hold cover, and you were saying, you know, 120 pilgrims would have been?
Yes, there was 120 pilgrims, actually, and they lived in the hold, which is a tiny space. Yeah. It was a 3-month voyage across to Plymouth in Massachusetts, or to the Cape Cod in Massachusetts. Yeah. And unfortunately, several of them died because of the conditions they were living in.
Cattle, chickens, everything else on board.
Everything for food, yeah.
And that's what struck me when we were up there earlier on, which I've got to have me vertigo, just looking down in there. But the fact that you've done it so true to life. When you say, you know, you sort of look at it and you think, well, this is a replica. I mean, it really, as much as you can make it, it really is. Seeing the plans and seeing how you've upscaled everything is an upscale, isn't it?
It is, and we're hoping that anybody that comes to see it that knows of it, who either built the one in 1950s that sailed out there, or
that's right, yeah.
Or come from America and seen the real one, the second one out there, looks at this and thinks, wow, it looks like the real thing, which I'm sure it will.
Well, the early one that they sent out, of course, I mean, that really did set sail. This has got a very different purpose, isn't it?
Yes, there's no way in the world I think he'll float or sail, but no, it is a tradition of ours that started back in 1970 when we were the then Cavaliers, or then group of just friends, were invited to Plymouth to commemorate the 350th anniversary of the sailing of the Mayflower, and the Lord Mayor invited everybody in Devon to come and enter into the pageant. So
all the different areas.
Yeah, so a group of lads went down, had such a good time, came back, formed the Cavaliers, with the motto, let's put on events the like of which Torrington's never seen before.
It's a wonderful motto.
So we were formed, and the bonfire started, and they've been going now for 50 years. So now we're commemorating the 400th anniversary of the Mayflower and celebrating our 50th anniversary next year on the 29th of August.
Phenomenal. 50 years. It's been a crew and a team, and I'm sure you've changed over the years, but you must have forged some tremendous friendships.
It is, it's a family.
Yeah,
it's a family.
Fantastic.
You know, with our wives and children, and everybody gets involved these days, and in events and various different things.
Now, listen, I have to go with one of your crew because they did say they'd put in a bid for Thunderbirds one year. Absolutely with that one. I want to see that. That'd be fantastic,
they did. That's
wouldn't
very
it?
true.
That would be amazing. But these are not small projects. They take you years. And as we said, we've come up today, August 2019, a stunningly beautiful day here for a sort of a debrief and a catch up, because next year is the big year, isn't it? So from here on in, how does the countdown run?
Wow, this year we're hoping to get the ship complete, the hull, and everything ready as far as the main body of the ship is concerned, less the masts. Yeah. We don't want the main mast up over the winter period for obvious reasons. Yeah. They would be built on the ground over the winter with the sails. all the rigging and everything
And a
required.
real rigger, a genuine rigger,
We have
is
got
coming to do it all.
it was one of our members is a rigger,
Yeah.
and
As it happens.
and then next year, next spring, weather depending, we will have cranes in and we will lift the mast onto the top, and that will be the boat actually finished.
Well, that brings us to some of your sponsors, because you have a phenomenal lineup of local sponsors. It was a joy to see some of the names, Dartington, Rosewell, all the big names, all the big guns, BT, everybody's got right behind you, haven't they?
They have. And I say just at the back here now, you can see them all. These are our biggest sponsors. And without these people, there's no way in the world that we'd be able to do something at this stage and make the money. Because the biggest we've made in the past is £70,000. We're hoping this year to make it over £100,000 because it's our 50th. So. And every single penny of that gets given away to charity.
Yeah, even you pay to come in.
Yes, we buy our own tickets.
Yeah,
yes, we do.
I just think it's so from the heart, isn't it?
Yes,
It's so from the heart. It's quite remarkable. And without these people, as you say, they're organising all the road closures for you. They're bringing the big cranes to get the lifting gear up, to get the tackle right up to the top, scaffolding. And you were talking a little bit earlier on about logistics, what it takes to get off the ground, going to the council. And so many people have been so helpful with all the sides of that the area must be so proud of the Cavaliers and what you do.
Well, I think so. We're extremely proud, and the town is certainly. And but I think the region understands it as well, because I remember one year that I just as a matter of interest started ringing around the hotels in North Devon to see if I could find an empty room, and I couldn't find one.
Right.
So it's everywhere. It brings people in from all over, and there's not a great deal of accommodation actually right here. So it means all the people around the area. Do benefit from all this.
So also in planning, of course, will be the actual display. You've got 2 tigers on that.
Yes.
It's going to be quite phenomenal. That's going to be quite phenomenal.
It is. There'll be 2 major displays, and yes.
And also people, because sometimes people don't want to be in the midst of it, in the melee. So you've got a field over the other side. You've got it covered from all angles, literally.
Yes. Yes, the field across the way is meant for the people that, like I say, don't want to be in the thick of it, or can't walk too far, because it's a little walk from the car parks to the site, or stand for the evening, and they can watch it from their car as public address, so they hear what's going on. They just don't see the actual main entertainment this time.
Well, I think the whole setup, just to see you all working up there, as I talk to the crews on board, just working up there now, and they just slip up and down those ladders like it's nothing, but it's so beautifully built.
Lovingly built.
Yeah, lovely. Do you know, it's a beautiful way of putting it. Actually, yes. When it comes to setting fire to it, that must really be a very hard thing to do.
It's a mixed emotion.
Yeah.
One of them is glad to see the back of it, get your life back.
So light the match. And
No.
Yeah.
And the other one is you're sad to see it go, because once it's complete, we spend a lot of time down here talking to people, and because people are coming to have a look at its completed form. Yeah. And yes, it is a sad day, and but also a happy day because it's gone.
Yeah, well, one of them said get your life back for a few weeks before the next project. Have you already got that one in mind yet?
No. But this one here, what we normally do is have a 2-year break from the Bonfire, but this one we started straight away after, because we know the complexities and the size of it, so this one has actually been a 5-year project, or will have been from start to finish.
Well, you're all doing great so far, so we've got roughly how long to go before the big day?
A year and 2 weeks.
2 weeks, isn't it?
29th of August, yeah.
2020, which is, as you say, 50 years for you, 400 years since Mayflower. It's going to be absolutely epic.
It's going to be amazing.
Monumental. But as you say, so much love gone into the buildings. You can see all the crews up there now, all working away, and what weather you've had. I mean, you've absolutely been blessed.
We've been lucky. Yes, we have.
Absolutely blessed. But you've done an incredible job, and as you said, from all sides, from all angles, where you can see. And when you're up there, you really feel like you are on a ship. I can't believe it's actually.
It is a ship.
It is. And what it must have been like to be above the water and setting sail on a 3-month journey. It's going to be a really special year, a really special moment. But I think for Torrington and for the Cavaliers, of course, a town with the most phenomenal history, you're doing such an incredible job to bring everybody together and give something, as you say, the like of which Torrington has ever seen before. But also something to be very, very proud of.
Yep, we are proud of it, yes.
You should be. Steve Blake, thank you so very much.
Thank
really
you.
Good luck. And we look forward to catching up with you a little bit later on, hopefully when you're putting the next masts up. Good luck. So keep going and we'll be following you all the way.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve Blake.